The communication that they gave us was well over our heads. I think the best way for them to have dealt with patients was to come down to their level or get somebody in that can talk to them at that level, because the doctors and the surgeons and the clinicians, they talk to you in language that you sort of sit there and think, okay. And that's why I said, you know, you're going to take me in, knock me out, and wake me up afterwards.
Just got rid of all the big words.
Yeah, which is a lot easier.
There's a lot of information being given to us in amongst the fact, hey, your wife's about to go into the operating table and may not come back. And of course there's all those things where you're not only trying to process all that, also continue to deal with the things you need to do as a parent.
I knew the basics, that it was going to stop my blood from clotting, but I didn't understand it. And that was the point, that I didn't understand it, and they didn't actually give me time to understand it.
She's on it for life, and it was a case of this medication is what's going to keep her part of our lives for how much longer we get. We just needed to understand, or what does this do, why was it there, what's the purpose, and you know, how does it kind of fit into the other pharmacy of drugs that she's on.
The clinicians need to remember to talk to the people, to talk to the support people, and make sure that they're not just talking to the patient. While I was in hospital, Graham hadn't arrived in the hospital at that time. They just talked to me, and that doesn't work. You only pick up certain things. You need somebody else there to be able to pick up on things that the patient hasn't been able to pick up on.
Even just asking questions of the people, of the patient and the support people, you know, does that make sense? Have you followed what I've said? Because that way they can at least check that what they think they've communicated and what's been received is roughly the same thing. At times it was probably not like that kind of check back in the conversation. They just kind of spouted stuff out, gave you a piece of paper and ran away.
I came from a background where I understood. Some of my whānau up in Nuhaka and Wairoa have no idea. They just take it as face value. And this is where the harm comes in. And I think the processes that the clinicians on the anticoagulant working group are trying to put in place are going to help other people and other clinicians to actually speak and listen to their patients more.